Have you ninjas been wanting to learn how to code and you're wondering, why am I taking these useless math classes? I'm about to show you that the math you're learning is super helpful when learning how to code. I'm going to use a piecewise function here to prove my point, because here f of x is going to represent the total cost for catching a taxi where I can drive from city to city. And if I don't go any more than 10 miles, I have a flat total fee of $10. But if I go over 10 miles, we'll say that my total cost is $5 times the number of miles. Now, if I want to write this as code, we need to take a step first and put some notes down, because what I want to do is to figure out the total cost. What I'm going to do now is for f of x, I'm going to create a variable that I'm going to call total cost. And then here, anytime you see x, we're going to call that variable something called miles. And now if I want to write code for this, which I'm going to use Python in this video, if you know other languages or are interested, tell me in the comments below. What I would do is in Python, I would create what's called a function. Now, bear with me. I know I'm not using miles here, but here for this function, it's going to take as input what we're going to call x, which is a variable that's going to represent the number of miles driven. And for this function, the word def means define. So we are defining a function, and then you give it a name, which in this case, it's calculate total cost. And then this is where the beauty of the math comes in, because in the math above, for that piecewise function, the piecewise function can be written as if and else statements in code, because what we're saying here is if the number of miles x is less than or equal to 10, this variable that I'm calling total cost will have a value of 10. And otherwise, or else, if I've gone more than that many miles, the total cost will be 5 times x. And then what you want to do in your function here is you need to have a return statement. So if somebody were to use this piece of code from you and they were to ask, hey, after 15 miles, what's my total cost? This return would send them back the total cost result. And so now, remember how I made that variable called miles above? So if I want to write a sample program now to test this function, I would create this variable here that I'm going to call miles, and we'll say that it's a value of 80. And then we would create another variable, which will be the result, the total cost. So after you call calculate total cost by providing this miles value to it, you get back the final result. And by the way, my program does have a bug. Tell me in the comments below if you find it.